Well, hello again, KCIW listeners, and welcome to Curry Café. And I'd like the big shout out today being International Women's Day, right in the middle of Women's History Month. So yay, women, and we'll be talking to a woman very soon. I'm volunteer Rick McNamer. Every Sunday from 3 to 4, your host Ray Gary and I put together a panel of guests to discuss topics of interest in our community. Listeners can participate by texting in questions or comments to 541-661-4098. Again, you can text in 541-661-4098. So now here's Ray to tell us about today's show.
Okay, to all of you who still think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're wrong. You forgot too. Today we have a very special guest who I'm going to turn the mic over to in a minute, and she will introduce herself, tell you all about herself, and we'll find out about herself. So, you're on.
All right. My name is Kindi Lantz. I am here from Grants Pass, Oregon. I work with the Asante Foundation. The Asante Foundation is the arm of Asante that raises all the funds for all the new equipment that we get, new technology, some wraparound care, like what I'm here to talk about today, which is the Family House. It's a hospitality house that is there for traveling patients. What else do you want to know about me?
Well, we'll get into a lot of that. Can you go ahead and give us a brief little background where you started from and what got you here to Brookings?
Okay.
I'm sorry, to Grants Pass.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Montana. I was raised on a large wheat and barley farm in the middle of nowhere, north central Montana. I'll bring this back around. It does tie into why I am where I am with the Asante Foundation. But for now, just know that I was raised in a place where there was nothing around. And I spent more time with farm equipment and stray cats, and I had loads of sisters, than I did with anyone outside of my family. So after graduating, I decided I needed to get out of Montana. It's really cold there. Like 40 degrees below zero is not a rarity. And I went to Florida because
That's
why not?
a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
One extreme to the other.
Exactly. And then after being in Florida for about 3 years, I decided I missed mountains. And so then I made a move to Oregon and then back to Montana, where I met my husband. And at the time when we were just dating, we decided to move to Portland with his band. We lived there for 10 years, fell in love with Oregon.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, it's so great. And then we decided that we had a little girl at the time. We wanted to get her back to where we were raised. We went back to Montana. And it was my husband's wishes that we moved back there. And I told him I'd give it 2 years. I gave it 5. And it was still really cold there.
That would change.
40 below zero was still not a rarity. And so we decided to move. And we chose Grants Pass, Oregon, because we loved Oregon and we wanted to get back to Oregon, but we did not love the city. And so Grants Pass has been the perfect fit for us.
Love the city, big Portland?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Grants Pass is not quite as big as Portland.
No.
I moved here from Alaska, and I can certainly relate to your weather situation. I can't believe the middle of March now, and I'm wearing a T-shirt.
Yes.
And I was out in the yard working with no shirt today. I should look up the temperature in the town I lived in. Maybe I'll do that. Well,
And what town was that?
Well, a little town called Healy was where I spent most of my time, but I was a Alaska State Trooper, so I moved all over the state, basically. But there was no place that was warm, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And the cold in the winter, mosquitoes in the summer just made it unbearable. After 40 years, I couldn't take it anymore. That was the end.
Yeah, well, 40 years is a good hard try.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place to live. But I lived on a homestead, which included some hardships, and turning on the faucet or the light didn't mean your water was going to come or your electricity was going to come, or anybody come to fix it. You had to learn how to do all that yourself.
Yeah. But you got some pretty lights.
I'm sorry?
You got some pretty lights with those northern lights.
Northern Lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the most beautiful place in the world. And
Yeah.
where I lived, it was not uncommon to wake up and find grizzly bear tracks in my yard or wolves. That to me is heaven, but heaven
Not
could
for-
warm up a little. Turn
not
the
for a lot
temperature
of
up a little bit, yeah.
And I've only dealt with it was minus 30 one time I worked for the railroad out in eastern Nebraska with the wind chill, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
Some people, I guess, when you live there, some people, I don't know if they like it, but they certainly can deal with it.
Yeah. I think it's the tornadoes there that would get me down.
Oh, man, that too. Yeah, those sirens sound creepy.
hmm
Well, and I'm sorry, Kindi, what was the name of the town in Montana?
I grew up outside of a town called Fort Benton.
Fort
Most
Benton.
recently, I was in a little town called Frenchtown. It's right outside of
Okay.
Missoula.
Okay. Well, so, and what you're doing now, kind of, maybe you didn't think about it back then, but being in a very rural community, you know about what you're dealing with now and people that have to travel a long way and because of their medical issues. So,
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, being 36 miles from any medical care and much further from specialty care where I grew up, I saw a lot of families struggling, including my own. For many, it's the decision of, do I travel at all? Is it worth that? Like, it's an expense, it's time, it's hardship emotionally. And some of them, in those instances, if there's not a place to stay, if there's not affordable care, they just won't do it. A lot of hard-headed folks,
right.
know?
And a hard decision to make for
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I moved to Grants Pass, I was doing marketing. I was doing it for a lot of nonprofit companies. So I did know a lot about nonprofit marketing, but I didn't want to be in marketing anymore. But I still wanted to do something where I felt like I was giving back, where it wasn't soulless work. But I was fortunate that I still had a job. I was able to be very particular about where I worked. And then I saw this job opening at Asante for their foundation. And the specific job details said, one of the major focuses of this position is the family house and care in Josephine County, including cancer care compassion funds. And I knew that I wanted that job. It meant so much to me for multiple reasons. I had my own family experience where my sister's young daughter, my oldest niece, she was diagnosed with cancer, and we were told she had 3 months. It was a very rare childhood cancer. And my sister, being that there were no specialty services like that around where she was living in Montana, they had to travel. They had to travel to Denver Children's Hospital. And because there was a hospitality house for them to stay in, it's not obviously the one that is through Asante. It was the Ronald McDonald House. But because that was there.
Same premise there.
Yeah.
To help families out. Okay.
Exactly. They were able to travel. And because they were able to travel, my niece was able to receive treatment, experimental treatment that no child had survived this cancer at her age. She was 5 in the past.
That's just hard to believe. But
Yeah.
it happened.
And because she was able to do that, she survived. And she's in her 20s. And she's probably going to get proposed to by her boyfriend soon. And she graduated from college with a marketing degree. She's got a really great job. And other children are now surviving this type of cancer because she was able to travel and she had a place to stay. And when she was being treated, I was able to go there. My sister at the time was a single mother, She also had a little boy that was just 6 months old.
Boy, talk about some hardships there, but
It was tough, but you just gotta be so grateful
of
for
course.
what people have made possible. Complete strangers who have never met my sister, who have never met my niece, but people make these things possible. And I was able to stay with my niece in the hospital, and my niece was quarantined because she couldn't have people around her because of how her body was in that moment. My sister got sick; she couldn't be around her own daughter, but she was still able to be nearby with her son and get through their flu so that she could go back and be with her daughter. But I was there throughout all that, and I saw how much a place like that can mean to people. So when this job opened up, I want to do that. I want to help other people who are traveling from rural areas that need complete strangers to wrap around them and care for them and give them a comforting and affordable place to stay.
Could we back up just a little bit? When you mentioned Asante Foundation, when I hear the word Asante, I'm thinking of that's the go-to place if you need a doctor.
Yeah.
They seem to have very good ones, and then they have other staff around it. So how are you related to that in any way?
Yeah. So Asante, the Asante Health System is a nonprofit itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everything there, the medical, the surgeries, all of that.
Yep.
Yes.
Folks may get charged, insurance is charged for folks to visit there, but we operate on about 0.5% profit margin. All the money goes into the operational costs. So when we need to expand healthcare to keep up with the growth of the region, we use the Asante Foundation. That's where we come in. We pay for the new technology, and I shouldn't say we because it's donors. It's people giving gifts to the foundation, gifts that are important to them. For one person, it might be the family house. For another, it might be cardiology. Another, it might be compassion funds. And any expansion, any new technology, that is coming from donors. It's coming from philanthropy. And that has been true of Asante since the beginning.
It all sounds wonderful. Now, we were talking a little bit, if you could expound a little bit on the compassion funds part and how those situations come in, not just strictly medical care, but other care that they need.
Absolutely. Compassion funds are so incredible. When folks are going through hard times, you never know what their situation is, right? So we have social workers that will talk to them. They will come to us and they will tell us what their individual needs may be. And so there are these funds. They are not designated towards research. They are not dedicated to new equipment and technology. They are dedicated to a person's needs in the moment, whatever their individual situation might be. So for one person, it might be grocery cards, like gift certificates to a grocery store, because their income is now going into paying for whatever treatment they're getting or traveling for that care. Or for others, it might be gas cards, or it might be clothing. It could be that in a situation where, I was told this the other day by one of our social workers, there was a person who, she was traveling for cancer care. She forgot her nausea medicine, but because it had already been filled recently, her insurance wouldn't cover it. She didn't have the funds to pay for her anti-nausea medicine. And so they were able to give her a gift card to the pharmacy to go pay for that. So it's really for a multitude of things.
Covers almost everything any family member or person would have to deal with.
Yeah, the things that insurance doesn't cover.
Well,
right?
Yeah, yeah. So you can, again, text in 541-661-4098. Now, and Kindi, you mentioned Josephine County, but how far does Asante reach? Like we had, I think, talked people. I'm on the California side, Smith River, Crescent City. I'm assuming a lot of people from that area have to go to Medford, or Medford and Grants Pass.
Yeah, both.
So it encompasses a big area for people to take advantage of, if that's the right term.
Yeah.
I hate to say take advantage of, but that's.
We primarily serve 9 counties. I mean, if you think of everywhere between Sacramento and Portland, there's a lot of people coming from all over to get
From that
care.
far too.
I mean, there are certain services that we offer that are offered in Portland, and they are offered in San Francisco even, and nowhere in between. So people, if they're closer to San Francisco or Sacramento, they might go there. If they're closer to Portland, they might go there. But all of those places in between, they're coming to Asante. 9 counties.
9 counties.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty wild.
Yeah, I like the idea that there's more than one doctor involved in this specialty. If one has a question, in theory, I guess they would get together and ask another one to how to treat a certain different or new or a problem that requires
Disease
some
or
new knowledge. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So, and again, we're talking a lot of philanthropy here.
Right.
And part of the reason you're here today, of course, is to be with us. But the other one is you did receive, if you want a little shout out to
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened before you came here.
Yeah. So I came here. I visited with a lovely woman from the Emblem Club. She actually had the opportunity to stay at the family house. It's very special to her. She spent a lot of time there, and really just appreciated the care she received so much. So she called me up and asked if I would come to Brookings to go to their meeting where they were going to be giving checks away to some nonprofits. I think there were probably maybe 7 or 8 nonprofits there that they were giving checks to, and we were very grateful to be one of them.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you to the Emblem Club.
Yes, thank you to
All
the
right.
Emblem Club.
Okay. So how do I put this? Well, a lot of volunteers are there, I'm assuming, along with paid staff for Asante.
Yeah, we do have some really great volunteers, and then we're somewhat decent-sized staff, I guess, but we're very close. We all work together.
Yeah. Now, doing my little research, I saw it looked like for the Asante Foundation team, there were 14 people, or has that changed?
I think whatever you saw on the website is
okay.
probably correct.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. And I did notice now that it's Women's Month and International Women's Day, most of them were women. I think there were 2 men. I'm just assuming that wasn't prerogative for people to be on the team.
Yeah.
But it just kind of happened to work out that way.
Yeah, it's certainly not a requirement
Sure.
that you have to be female. But yeah, I think that it kind of is how philanthropy leans, the industry. It is more heavily female dominated. Yeah. But that's not to say that we don't have male voices, right?
Sure.
We have a board that has plenty of male members and are very involved in the decision making. And our board is great. They are folks from the community who come from a lot of different industries, and they represent the voice of the community.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit before. I've been to Grants Pass a few times, had to go there for medical myself. And it seems like Grants Pass is for a larger city that we're not used to here. It seems to be pretty tight and supportive of what Asante is doing.
It very much
for
is.
people.
Yeah. This community, they really come together, and it doesn't matter politics, any of it. Everyone comes together and they support each other as a community. I have been so impressed with Southern Oregon as a whole, just how kind and generous people are.
Coming from Sacramento, and again, I live just across the border in Smith River, but do a lot of business and my stuff here in Brookings and Harbor. But I noticed that too. It was a little different from where I came from.
Yeah.
This is a much friendlier place than a lot of the country. My sister-in-law came here from Fort Lauderdale with her husband, and I think that's one of the rudest places in the country, and I just couldn't believe how people said hello, and the way they drive. We're not racing to get through the red lights and things like that. So it's a much more laid-back place to live than a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of times that I am not on the right and people are waving me through the stop sign.
Yeah. What a change. What a change. So with the 14 members of the staff, I'm assuming they each maybe have their own specialty or mission, and of course, I'm sure you guys all work together and get together, but does each one kind of have a specialty that they
Yes, we
work on or do?
As a whole, we are all working toward expanding healthcare in our region and making sure we have world-class healthcare in the 9 counties, for the 9 counties we serve. But yes, each of us, we do have our focus areas. Mine is Josephine County and the Family House. Another member's is cancer care. Another member has cardiology. Right now, our primary focus is something we're calling the Asante Forward 2030 campaign. And we are working to raise funds for a lot of different things, but our primary focuses right now are expanding cardiology care, the oncology wing in Medford, and the Family House in Grants Pass.
Okay.
But that's not to say there aren't many other things we're raising funds for at any given time.
Is the fact that there's kind of a shortage of cardiologists and many of the specialists, is that just that there aren't that many cardiologists, or there's not enough money to pay them, or?
Well, our recruitment team does a very good job, and they are being very competitive and trying to bring in the best care in the area. And actually, our cardiology is top. I mean, you can't go anywhere else and get better care. We get the top awards for cardiology. I will say, to your question, cardiology is not my specialty, so I can't fully tell you about the doctors, but I do know that we do have the best care.
I'm very pleased with the medical care I've gotten from Asante, but I guess maybe I phrased my question wrong. Is the fact that there are so few cardiologists and so few oncologists and specialists, is that because there isn't the money to pay them, or there just aren't doctors?
Yeah. Well, we don't have a shortage right now. We have the number that we need to care for the number of patients that we have. But I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that because I don't work in the cardiology part.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry.
Okay.
And how long has Asante been, the foundation been around, and what was that kind of the start?
Yeah. So the foundation opened in 1973. They were founded. So it's been around a long time. But
Wow.
Asante has always been based in philanthropy. The Asante, before it was Asante, it was Rogue Valley Memorial Hospital. And that opened in the 1950s. And it was fully funded through philanthropy. It was a group of folks from the community that got together. They went door to door, raised funds. They said, we need a hospital. Why don't we have a hospital? We need a hospital for our area. And they did the footwork and they raised the funds. And back in the 1950s, this was a $2.9 million project. And they raised the funds and made it happen. And Asante has grown from the community's generosity, from the region's generosity, and it's been fully out of philanthropy since then.
Raising money for a hospital brings to mind a little Henry Ford story. Henry Ford was visiting Ireland, where his mother came from, and one night somebody knocked at the door, and they were raising funds for the hospital. And Ford says, "Oh, sure, okay." And he whipped off $5,000 for the hospital. The next morning, he goes down to breakfast, and there's headlines in the paper: Henry Ford just donated $50,000 for the new hospital.
Oh, whoops.
So the guy that got the 5K from him came running up to him and says, "Geez, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have them retract that right away." So, of course, naturally, he came up with the rest of the money.
Well, hopefully,
We try to something like that.
We try to keep a little bit more of an honest approach, but
Oh, God, that will get you nowhere. Just look at the political situation.
well, it sounds like to me Asante's gotten a long way, so far. And right now, is there probably a waiting list for people to get in there and
at the family house?
At the family house?
Yeah.
And I believe you're looking to expand, hopefully.
We are, yeah. Currently, the family house has 7 rooms. We have 5 RV spaces with full hookups, and that is not enough. We are turning people away, and it's an awful thing to have to do. These are people who
Awful but necessary and
awful but necessary. I mean, and the reason is because we have great care, and they're coming to receive great care, but we don't want to turn people away. So we're looking to expand. We're going to double the size of the family house, adding 7 additional rooms. We are also adding 3 more RV spaces with full hookups, and doing some updates on some other stuff around the property. We're adding a privacy landscape barrier, getting in some more washer and dryers, the necessities to take care of folks and make this a
everything
home-like
somebody
setting.
would need to be, with their loved ones while they're going through some serious medical treatments.
Yeah. It really is just a wonderful place. It has a full kitchen where they can cook meals with their families. They have their own space in the refrigerators. They have their own drawers to keep their food. But in addition to that, we have a full pantry of food that is just available for anyone, especially the folks that might be going through a cancer treatment. You never know when you're going to feel hungry or what you're going to want to eat. So having options there, it's really a great thing that we can provide. With the expansion, of course, 7 new rooms. We're going to need to make more space in our kitchen as well, and assess that situation so that we can have the space for everyone to keep their grub.
Boy, and you're on the Asante house now. Did I have that right?
The family house.
The family house now. It's right next to all the medical facilities.
It is.
They can essentially walk or being pushed in, whatever they have that's close.
Yeah.
This expansion you're talking about, going to be on the same area? Or
Yeah. So we are so fortunate that the folks who came together to build the first family house with this idea of, we need this place. We need to offer a place to stay for our neighbors traveling for care. It was a group of realtors, and they came together and they saw this need. They went to the hospital and them, they teamed up and came up with the funds for this. But we're so fortunate that they also had the foresight to know eventually we're going to need to expand. And so they secured a property that was big enough for the original family house that opened in 2008, as well as the expansion. So it'll be right there, same property. There's going to be a covered walkway that takes you from the original house to what we're calling the annex, the new build. It has a great big yard with a play structure, a gazebo with some picnic tables. There's some outdoor lounge areas, but it'll all still be in the same place, just a couple blocks from the hospital. I think it's about a block and a half, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So to use this facility, do you have to qualify financially?
No.
By that, I mean on the lower end of fund. Do you have to show that you can't afford to stay in a hotel? Or?
No, because the family house is about so much more than helping with that financial burden. It's about providing a comforting place to stay as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who have means to stay in a hotel, but that doesn't mean it's the best place for their healing. And plenty of studies have shown that when you're around family, when you're able to have that support system,
Absolutely,
with you, you're going to stand a better chance. So
yeah, if you're in the hospital or getting treatment, sometimes the little smallest thing makes a big difference. I was in the hospital for an observation thing years ago, wearing the hospital garb, and my wife brought me in clothes, and just wearing real clothes, even though I was still in the hospital, made a big difference
yeah,
in my whole attitude.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's just a little bit of normalcy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does make such a difference.
Yeah, it's nice when you're in a situation like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different levels of need, I suppose, for people. I'm thinking of somebody with the waiting list. I doubt this is possible, but let's say somebody even needs to go up for a sort of a minor medical issue, but you have to stay overnight, maybe because of like anesthesia or something.
Mm-hmm.
Would someone be able to possibly use the facilities? I
Yeah.
guess if there was an opening, magically you could.
Yeah.
No.
So, you just call, you talk with Lorraine, is our house manager. She will tell you if we have any availability. And she will either put you on the waiting list if there's not, or she will give you a room. We were lucky enough to just secure a partnership with a hotel. Like I said, it's still not the family house. It's a different kind of environment. But a hotel in Grants Pass has been very kind that if we have to turn someone away, we can contact the hotel and they will give them a reduced rate. And so
That's pretty awesome.
it's still worth calling and checking.
Okay.
We are almost full every night,
Yeah.
but not always.
Can you mention the hotel that has?
Yeah, I don't see why I couldn't. It's the Super 8 in Grants Pass.
Okay.
And
Good for them.
yeah,
For
yeah.
helping out. Here again, just the community coming together, being, philanthropic, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. I should say, for folks hearing this, if they wanted to get that discount at the Super 8, it would have to still go through the family house because they don't want to share it with everyone
Right.
publicly, obviously. So,
Which makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Lorraine's a sweetheart, and she will take care of everyone.
That's awesome.
So if you want to get involved here and ask a question, we have the text line. Operators are standing by waiting. It's 451-661-4098. And I'll just reach out for a wild question here. I assume you can't bring your dog.
Well,
Go ahead.
that's a wonderful question. Inside of the house, no. However, if you have an RV and your dog is your support person and you want to bring your dog in your RV, that is absolutely fine. Yeah, and we have the RV spots with full hookups. There's a lovely backyard. It's a great place.
That's a nice thing to have.
It is, yeah. Yeah, sometimes our pets are our support people, and we want them there with us.
Yes,
and
very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to know you have a problem and do what they can to comfort you.
Yes, they do.
Right. And a lot of the people here, I'll go to our senior community and others, but it's a big pet area, big dog, and you could even bring your cat, Ray, if you had to go there.
Well, I'm looking at possibly spending a few days in the hospital down the road, and my cat is my big concern. I don't know what I'm going to do with her.
Oh.
Anyway,
Well,
she'll get over it.
Well, cats can. Dogs, maybe not so.
After she pees in my bed. Come on.
That's what
They let you know when they're angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. Well, really, Kindi, it's nice to know that there is a community like that can reach out and help people in need,
Yeah.
because there are plenty of people out there that are in need. To touch on a little, maybe not so happy thing, but end of life care.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys involved or does hospice get involved with that too? I assume.
Yes. We have, speaking of our people on our staff who specialize in certain things, hospice care is one of those things. And yeah, it's such an important thing to have those people there in the moment.
Right.
I've dealt with it.
So have I.
It's
a lot of us have.
Yeah, and it takes such special people and special care to handle a situation like that. Yeah, so it's so special. And then there's hospice volunteers that come in, and they are just the person that understands what it is like and how to handle that moment. So
you bet.
Yeah.
It always is amazing to me that people work in fields like that, or any of the fields that require a lot of nursing care, that people have gone into that. When I hear somebody say they want to be a nurse, I think, you know what being a nurse is? A nurse in the hospital anyway. I was in the Army. I was drafted, and they made me a medic. And with the training I had, I could have done two. I could have been a field medic with an infantry platoon, which is what I looked at. Or I could have worked in a hospital. Well, the working as a field medic was obviously not much fun, but a while back I was visiting my sister-in-law in the hospital, who has had a very painful and messy situation, and these nurses were coming in, smiling, and helping her do everything she needed to do, so much of which was not very pleasant. And I was sitting there thinking, maybe I had the better deal in the Army. I know.
It takes such a special person to be a nurse. I've been in the hospital, and I remember just being like, they're like, okay, you can go home now. I was like, I don't want to. Yeah. You guys are taking care of me. I like it here.
No, well, I think, and of course, all of us have. I've dealt with a lot of that too, and they are just like hospice people. They are special people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and on the board or the team members, are there physicians on that?
There are. There are some physicians on our board.
Yeah, I kind of figured so.
Yeah, not on our team. Not on the foundation staff, like employed staff, but on our board, there are plenty of physicians as well.
And then I understand can be a cost to stay, but if somebody has an issue with that, they can talk to somebody and that can be worked out.
Yes. Yeah. So,
and yes, there's another just good thing that help people out.
Yeah.
People in need.
For some people, the financial is a barrier to care, and that's not what we want. So while we do ask $50 a night, which is very affordable, considering the average Grants Pass hotel is about $130 to $180, and that's on the off season.
It goes up.
Yeah, when people are there to be floating the river in the summertime, it is far higher. But we do ask $50 if they can only afford to pay part of that. That's fine. If they can't afford any of it, we have funds to support that too. And we actually have some sponsor night forms that we will hand out on occasion to people who are interested in how can I help. They sponsor a night. They pay for someone's stay, and so those funds do go to those stays. We also have some guests. Like I said, there are sometimes guests that have the means to stay in a hotel. It's just not the greatest place to heal. And those people sometimes will say, "Hey, thank you. I wanna help someone else out," and they will pay more than the cost of their stay, and they'll cover someone else's in the future.
Boy,
so. People are just so generous.
They are. They can be. That's for sure. And
yeah.
What you're talking about proves it.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I have to go to Eureka in a few days, and yes, I have to spend the night, but I don't have the need for somebody to pay for it yet, anyway. But my point is, all of us here in this area are very well aware of what we need to do to travel far to get medical care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And some of the original folks who decided that or saw the need for the family house, one of them had lived in Crescent City, and he knew what it was like, and
Right.
he's still a big proponent of the family house and supports us consistently. Um, but all of it since the beginning, it's all philanthropy. That original build was 100% built by philanthropy, and this expansion will be as well.
Do you have kind of an estimate on when the expansion might either start to take? Is it already started to take place?
Well, we have started the fundraising.
Okay.
And we just reached a really exciting milestone. We raised $1 million.
Awesome. Congrats on that.
Yeah, it's a big step in our fundraising process, but we hope to raise $3.2 million for this project.
That's right now your estimate what it's going to take.
It is. And, that might be a moving target because prices of
well,
construction materials
I have a feeling
change.
it will be.
But our hope is that when we reached about 2/3 of the way there, we will be able to start getting bids and get a
Okay.
timeline. Our stretch goal is to have that by 2027.
To have it completely.
To have our next million.
Oh, the next million. Okay.
And like I said, we just reached $1 million. We had a big celebration to thank our donors who were part of that,
That's awesome.
and to raise awareness with the rest of the community as well. And that's the hardest million to make, that first million. Once people see that this is something that's really going to happen, they're going to step in and they're going to say, okay, so this is worth my philanthropy. This is a project that will happen. I'm going to put my money towards it.
I was told that recently by a person who was trying to raise $45 million. And I'm thinking he's crazy, but I had lunch with him a few days ago, and he said, well, we've reached this point to where people see this viable, and they will start donating.
Yeah. You need that momentum, and then people jump on board.
By the way, I want to alert if anybody is or has texted. I'm in charge of the text line, and all I've been looking at is a spinning wheel. So obviously, I don't think the text line is working. So I apologize if you have texted in. We'll see if it works. I don't know.
Keep trying, because we'll stop spinning probably about 4:30.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't know it's daylight savings.
Oh, please. I could do a whole show on that, but I'll stop. I've been accused of being a grumpy old man because of the time change.
I was sitting at my desk relaxing, saying, well, okay, I've got an hour, and I got a text. Newsflash.
I'm going to jump back again to another kind of a downside, if you will. Like you said, you do have to turn people away sometimes. I also imagine, maybe not, or maybe it does depend on on the severity of somebody's visit to the hospispittal. Would that matter?
As far as giving them a room over someone else?
There you go.
Yeah.
That must be kind of hard to, again, turning somebody away that, oh, well, this person needs it more. I guess that's right.
Yeah. Well, if someone has already reserved a room, we're not going to take it away and give it to someone else. Like I said, we are all about comprehensive health care, and we wrap around the patient in any way we can. So if there was a situation like that, they would probably be talking with one of the social workers at the hospital, and they would try to point them in the best direction. Or as of recently, we have gotten that partnership with the hotel, and we can give them a reduced rate there as well.
Yeah. So. Well, that's great. And speaking of donations, I'm assuming you have phone numbers and website information.
Yeah,
for people to donate to this wonderful cause, and we all benefit.
Yeah, we do for sure. AsanteFoundation.org is the easiest way for them to see all the ways they can contribute to this and other projects that the foundation is working on. If they go to AsanteFoundation.org, there is a donate page. And on that donate page, they can see a drop down that'll tell them where they want those funds to go. because it is really important to us to make sure that if folks are spending their hard-earned money and donating to our causes, that it's a cause that they feel connected to, that they want, where they want to put their funds.
I can certainly see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody maybe has had past experience as well. I really want to do, like you said, to the compassion fund, or that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If they want to learn more about the Family House expansion, this is a little bit longer of a URL, but it's asante-foundation.org/family-house-expansion-donate. So Family House expansion, donate, all divided by hyphens.
Well, and as our listeners, if they don't know, you can always listen to this show on past programs, past shows, and you could get all that information again, not just live here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, easiest way, asantefoundation.org. Can find all the information there. You just have to dig a little deeper to find exactly what you're looking for.
I apologize. For some reason, the phone was ringing on the text line.
The text line. All right.
Yep. No text.
Oh, there's a little thing going around anyway.
No, it's still going.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the best tech person.
They might have been calling you to tell you why it's doing that. Oh,
We do.
Got it
I
back?
think we got a
All
text.
right.
Let's see if I can pull it up here. I'm trying. So the dead air is me trying to pull up a text, and it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, that's all right. We'll see what happens.
Well, if the text is any question that they had for me, they are welcome. They will find my email address on that website, and they can
There you
email
go.
it directly
Thank you.
towards me. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And just some of the stats, if you will, reading when I did the research on the Family House, it says currently serve about 450 families a year.
Yeah.
Is that still pretty current? I guess it is.
That is pretty current. I think our 2025 numbers were actually lower than that, which just means they were staying for longer periods of time. So we were filled probably more than we were the previous year. But as far as families, I think it was closer to between 250 to 300. But that just means more families were staying for longer periods of time.
Okay.
Maybe longer treatments or.
and is there a limit?
There is. It's 12 consecutive days, but considering that, there's weekends in there, a lot of times what will happen is we're not going to say, oh, you stayed 12 days, you can't stay here again. You come, you stayed 12 days, maybe you go home, see your family for a weekend, or, go back to your community and hang out with the people you know for a weekend, and then come back to us. We've had people who have had 3-month treatments, and they are there for most of it, and their families might come visit them on the weekend, or they might go visit their families on the weekend, and then they come back, and we wrap around them again.
Well, that's good.
Well, and obviously you guys are so very accommodating. You'll take any situation and work with it as it comes.
Yeah.
As best you guys can.
That is very true. We try to say that if you're going to stay at the Family House, because the need is so big, we ask that folks will be 50 miles or more. But that is not
cut and dry, or
Yeah, exactly.
set in stone, so to speak.
It really depends on the situation.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And we're there. Our social workers, they're there to listen to the situation and provide guidance and resources. So, yeah.
So, back to at the social workers. So whoever wants to try to get in there, that they first speak to a social worker about the condition?
Not always. That is oftentimes how folks hear about the Family House.
Oh.
But, maybe they heard about it from someone in their community, and they call the Family House first, and that's fine too. As long as they are a patient at Asante, they can stay at the Family House.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought Asante was just a big corporation and hired a bunch of doctors and had all these specialties, and you really enlightened me quite a bit.
Well, and I kind of did too, but it's all not for profit.
Yeah, no. We hire our staff, and we've got a great recruitment team. They hire our staff. They hire competitively. They want to make sure that they find a really good fit for not only Asante and the people we serve, but for this region. We love Southern Oregon and Northern California, but maybe not everyone does, and we want them to stay for a long time. So they really put a lot of focus into getting the right people here, the people who are going to stay. But yeah, definitely not a big corporation. We are a nonprofit, and all of that money goes back into the community.
When the experience I had when I moved here, and I think a lot of people probably did, said it's a great place to live if you're not sick, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
If you have to. Well, a friend of mine died not too long ago, and he was on dialysis. And I always thought you could do that at home, but evidently it's limited cases. And 3 or 4 days a week, he had to go to Crescent City for 5 hours. That would not be very convenient.
I assume there's dialysis right there at Asante.
That's not a department that I've worked in, but
Okay.
I also assume.
Well, okay.
I'm still pretty new to Asante Foundation. I should say that. I've been there for 4 months, so I don't have every answer yet. I'm getting a lot of information, and it's an amazing place, but I don't have every answer.
We definitely have enough compassion, and yeah, it sounds great. Okay, magic. We got a text, and I can read it.
Yay, what is it?
Thank you for it. Now, I think the question's already been answered, but I'll say it anyway. So the texter says, how can a person find out which hotels give discounts to people in town for medical procedures in Grants Pass and Medford?
Yeah.
Well, you said Super 8 right now. Is it the only one, or?
So I don't know. I know that there are other hotels that, as part of their corporate policy, they do offer medical discounts. I don't know which ones. That would take a call to the hotel. What I do know is if they want to stay at the family house and the family house is filled, they can call the family house. They can talk to Lorraine. They can give Lorraine their name, and she will email that name to the Super 8, who will then extend a discount while they're being treated.
And, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it probably isn't just Super 8, like you said. And I've heard of that too, different hotels and motels.
Mm-hmm. And we are, we just want to make sure that our patients are cared for. So we're trying to get partnerships with other hotels. There are some others that are on board. I don't have the details of those yet, but we are working with them to try and accommodate anyone until we are able to complete this expansion.
Yeah, that sounds like it's very much needed. And I asked before, or maybe I didn't complete it, but is there any way to try to look forward to see a completion date? Probably not, but I'll ask it anyway. I mean, are we looking at maybe like a 10-year
I would expect
period?
It to be much sooner than that. Our campaign, Asante Forward 2030, is based on hopefully getting all of this stuff done by 2030. But yeah, working
Again,
with
it's
contractors
hard.
and permits,
Sure.
there's a lot that it's just unknown.
Okay, well, of course.
But
Didn't
it
mean
will
to put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. The sooner we can raise those funds, the sooner we will have a timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of contractors, have you talked to any, or are there contractors out there that are willing to donate some of this time and material that you have lined up?
Yeah. So, we'll
Or have you even got that far?
We'll put out an RFP, but we do have pieces that people companies have shown interest in wanting to get involved in that way, and they're willing to provide either reduced cost or donated time, materials, services, and I mean, we talked about it before. The community is just so generous and amazing. And there are companies who were involved in the original build that have come to us again and said, we want to do that again.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So that part is covered somewhat.
So even contractors might have heart. Is this possible?
I've had some pretty good luck. Yeah.
I mean, I really feel strongly that most people are really good, kind people that want to help.
Yes.
I mean,
Good for you, and that's a great attitude, and I try to think that sometimes, but
there are people
And
that
there are.
might change your mind about it, but I think that they're really few and far between. That most people start with a good heart.
Yeah. Just talking to you today, Kindi, it seems like a positive thing right now. And again, we talked about our little community here, and I sense a lot of community togetherness, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of running down a time here, so I do want to thank you for coming in and talking about this. And this is very important to a lot of people. And we talked about this community where a lot of us have to travel out of town to get medical assistance and help.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Review contact info.
Oh, we were just reminded from a very important person, our engineer, Michael. Yeah. So let's go. Can you go ahead and talk about all of the contact information that they can get involved with?
Yeah. So the easiest way, if you want to support this project, is to go to asantefoundation.org. You're going to see a donate button right up top. You're going to click that, and you choose the project you want those funds to go to. What I've been talking about today is the family house expansion, but there are other projects. If you find those closer to your heart, then choose one of those. And then if you don't trust computers and the internet, you are welcome to call Monday through Friday. You can call in with a donation. It's 541-472-7301 is my direct line. Or you can reach me via email if you have other questions. It's Kindra, KINDRA.Lantz @asante.org. Lantz is LANTZ. Did I say it all right?
Yeah. You certainly did.
All
You
right.
certainly did, and that's great. Like I said, Kindi, this was a very important topic. We're glad to have you here, and glad you were here in Brookings to receive a nice little donation
Yeah, again, thank
Today.
you to the Emblem
to the
Club.
Emblem
Yeah.
Club here in Brookings.
Yes, and thank you so much for having
Awesome
me.
stuff.
I think it's so important that these communities know that this service is here for them. It's a resource for our traveling patients. It's not for the folks of
Right,
Grants Pass.
and what great comfort that you can get in a time of hard times
Mm-hmm.
if you have going through some medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
We are down to less
we're
than a
down.
minute, so
Okay.
um,
Again, Kindi, thank you very much for being here, and we were just glad to talk about this important topic.
let us know about things that a lot of us didn't know anything about.
I will. I'll keep you posted on the
Please do.
expansion progress for
Please
sure.
do, yeah. You have the contact. Well, all right, y'all. We're getting down to it. So thank everybody. Thank the one texter or the texters I might have missed. Okay, you're listening to KCIW 100.7 FM here in beautiful Brookings, Oregon. Thanks again, Kindi.
Yeah, thank you.